Hi, welcome to Baking with Jay plus Dan. I'm Jay.
I'm Dan.
And today we are making pecan, however you want to say it, squares.
You've got to give this one a try. Remember to leave comments below, and let's get started.
So in your mixing bowl, you want to have 2 sticks of unsalted butter, make sure it's room temperature, along with 1/2 cup of white sugar. You're going to blend that together 3 minutes until it's nice and fluffy. Our next ingredient, 1 large egg. Our next ingredient is my new obsession. It's called vanilla bean paste. We're going to use 1/2 teaspoon. It's vanilla beans that have been suspended in this gel format. It gives it a really, really intense vanilla flavor.
So that's 1/2 teaspoon of the paste, but if you're using vanilla extract, it's the same ratio.
Yes. So now that the vanilla bean paste is in the batter, it's time to mix that along with the egg for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to give that a quick scrape just so that we make sure we have all that goodness in the bowl. And Dan is going to tell us about the dry ingredients.
Okay, take 2 cups of all-purpose flour, whisk that together with a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and just a 1/4 teaspoon salt. We'll add this into the butter mixture, just slowly in until it's incorporated.
Our shortbread crust is finished mixing. I'm just going to scrape off the batter so we get all that goodness in there. And I'm going to hand it over to Dan.
All right, look at this. Now this shortbread crust might feel a little more moist than our Millionaire bar or the lemon bars. You can check out those tutorials if you're obsessed with 3-layer bars. I love this one though. Each of those shortbread recipes is slightly different, so it's worth taking a look at. We're going to drop this into a 9x9 pan. I've lined it with foil and left some overhang to help us get these gooey bars out at the end. So just flatten it a little bit in your hands. You make a disc, and then when it goes in, here comes the smack. You want to just press it out by hand. Work it evenly into the corners of the pan. Once it's nice and level in the bottom of the pan, take a fork and dock through the dough just to help it bake evenly. This one likes to rise up a little bit because of the baking powder. So this will help keep it flat and even.
So once you finish docking it, this goes into a preheated oven. Make sure it's set to 350 degrees and it bakes for about 25 minutes just until it starts to turn golden brown.
So let's get it in the oven and we'll be back to make the filling.
So while the shortbread crust is cooling, it's time to make our pecan filling. In a heavy bottom saucepan, you want to have 2 sticks of unsalted butter.
Throw in 1.5 cups of light brown sugar.
Next ingredient, 1/4 cup of honey, along with 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup. Make sure you use the good stuff.
And we'll just add a 1/4 teaspoon salt to balance some of that sweetness.
All right, so now we're going to take this mixture and bring it to a low boil on your stove for about 3 minutes, just to make sure that everything is nice and caramelized. So after our mixture has come to a low boil for 3 minutes, it's time to add our next ingredient, the zest of 1 whole orange.
That brings out such a bright citrus flavor. And the smell.
And the zest of 1 whole lemon. Again, it balances the flavor of all that sugar and butter, so it makes it a little brighter.
Then we toss in 1/8 cup of heavy cream. Just let that go in slowly.
And just stir it around.
And our star ingredient, 1 pound of pecans. These are coarsely chopped. Oh, and there's the pièce de résistance.
And with a wooden spoon, just mix that in so that everything is nicely coated. Take your time at this part because that sugar is really hot. You don't want to burn yourself. And now it's time to transfer our filling into the shortbread crust. So just take the filling and start to slowly pour it over the crust.
This 9-inch pan has a 2-inch depth, and you need that because this likes to bubble up in the oven. So a couple things to watch for. Make sure you've got the edges of your foil coming up high enough that all the caramel goodness doesn't dive over the side because then it'll stick. And you want to leave some excess on your foil. This will be the sling that helps you release the bars from the pan when they're done baking.
So I'm just evening out the sugar and pecan mixture so that it gets into all the corners and it's a nice even layer. This is going to go back into the 350-degree oven, and we're going to bake that for about 30 to 35 minutes until it's nice and set.
When the bars come out of the oven, let them cool completely in the pan, then put them in the fridge for about an hour, preferably overnight if you can stay that long.
And then you can cut them into whatever size pieces you like. Here we cut them into little 1-inch squares, but you can cut them into 3-inch squares or little bars, whatever size you like. I also like to finish it off with a little bit of kosher salt on the top. It sets off that sweetness from the honey and the maple and the brown sugar.
I'm salivating. I mean, look at the layers. It looks like a 3-layer bar, but it's really just 2.
And it's like biting into a piece of candy and a pecan pie. It's so delicious. Your guests will be buzzing around.
The kids will bounce off the wall with these. You have to give it a try.
So thank you for watching this episode of Baking with J plus Dan.
Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to ring that bell.